type it up. Decoration, coaster, table, okay, ring, keychain, clock, that's great. Keychains, coasters, nameplate, decoration plate, all right, all right. That's great. So I have, like, participants who know so much of it. Yes, preservation art and jewelry, right. All right, all right. So those who are new and those who don't know, all right, thank you so much for the response. Yes, customized gifts also. So I'll just quickly give you the few of the examples what all resin can be used for. So the most favorite art form of resin is the beach theme. All right. So this is one of the piece created in recent class, where you can see how nicely the sand, rock effect and the wave part, everything is added to it. So this is the most loved form of resin art. Also, we have, geode art, which incorporates the crystals and the glitters and very fine detailing. So this is another form of resin art, which is known as geode art. And as few already told that preservation, for preservation purpose, so you can even preserve your flowers. Okay, any type of flowers you have, you can just preserve it up for lifetime, or even preserve your photographs or any memories you have. Somebody also told the bookmark. So yes, bookmark and everything is possible. But the most important thing is that you need to understand how to handle resin, right? That is the most important thing. Once you know how to handle and how to work with resin, then only you'll be able to create whatever piece you want. Yes, मैं जैसे ही पूरा instructions और वो चालू करूंगी, I'll repeat in English and Hindi. So don't worry. If I say in Hindi, then wait for English also. Okay, I'll repeat in both the languages. Fine. So let's quickly start. And I feel that few of you are beginners here. Many of you know about resin, but as few are beginners, I'll take very short theory part so that you understand what all things are needed to start the resin art work. ठीक है? अभी मैं ऐसा अज्यूम कर रही हूँ, मान रही हूँ कि मेरे क्लास में थोड़े बिगिनर्स भी है, तो मैं थोड़ा बहुत थियोरी पार्ट भी आपको बताऊंगी कि मिनिमम क्या क्या चीजें आपको चाहिए रेजिन आर्ट चालू करने के लिए. Okay, so the first thing that you need is a base. First thing that we need is a base, and I'm taking a MDF base right now. Okay, this is MDF wood. Is my voice cracking, Manda? All right, great. So I'm having this MDF base. If you don't have MDF base, you can go ahead with other base, that is glass, ceramic, PVC board, acrylic board, even plywood or canvas board. ठीक है? मैं आज के प्रोजेक्ट के लिए MDF बोर्ड ले रही हूँ. अगर आपके पास MDF बोर्ड नहीं है तो आप ग्लास, सिरामिक टाइल्स, मेटल प्लेट्स, PVC बोर्ड, प्लाईवुड या फिर एक्रेलिक शीट और मिरर है या कैनवास बोर्ड भी आप ले सकते हो. ओके, सो दिस आर द पॉसिबिलिटीज टू सिलेक्ट एज योर बेस. फाइन. नाउ सेकेंड मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज रेजिन. दूसरी जो इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है वो है रेजिन. इन आवर डेली लाइफ वी हैव यूज्ड एमसिल और एरलडाइट. ठीक है, हम लोग एमसिल या एरलडाइट कभी ना कभी तो यूज किया होता है फॉर वाटर प्रूफिंग. सो वो भी एक रेजिन और हार्डनर ही है. Even MSIL or erudite is a type of resin and hardener, but that is in solid form. MSIL is in solid form, erudite is in liquid form, but it is not clear. जो हम MSIL यूज करते हैं वो एक सॉलिड फॉर्म में, क्ले फॉर्म में होता है, और एरडाइट जो यूज करते हैं वो लिक्विड फॉर्म में होता है, बट वो क्लियर नहीं होता, इसलिए हम आर्ट पर्पस के लिए नहीं यूज करते. The resin that we use for art purpose is called as epoxy resin. Okay, it is called epoxy resin. So how will you select the resin? अभी हमें जब भी resin लेना है तो कुछ चीजें ऐसी है जो हमें ध्यान में रखनी है. Lindsay, yes, you can preserve hair, umbilical cord, everything, even the, that delivery indicator, everything you can preserve in resin. So rather than that, just understand how everything has to be done. Okay, fine. So when you are selecting your resin, there are few things that you need to check. आप जब भी रेजिन लेते हो तो कुछ चीजें ध्यान में रखनी है. So I'll just explain that. Just listen to it. So first thing, it has to be a casting or a coating resin. आपका resin casting या तो coating resin होना चाहिए. अगर casting coating resin नहीं है तो आपका पीस है वो कुछ ही महीनों में येलो हो जाएगा. If your resin is not casting or a coating resin, your piece will turn yellow in few months. And this is what I show in all my classes, that this was made around 3 years back and still you can see me through it. That is the transparency when you use the casting or coating resin. ठीक है, जब भी आप कास्टिंग कोटिंग रेजिन इसमें मैंने जैसे यूज किया है 3 साल हो गए पर फिर भी वो ट्रांसपेरेंट है. फॉर टुडेज प्रोजेक्ट आई विल बी यूजिंग Eporex कंपनी, but I use many brands depending on the project that I'm working. मैं बहुत आज मैं Eporex कंपनी यूज कर रही हूँ, बट मैं बहुत सारी कंपनी का रेजिन यूज करती हूँ. मेरे प्रोजेक्ट के ऊपर डिपेंड करता है और वो आपको जैसे जैसे मैं पॉइंट समझाऊंगी यू विल अंडरस्टैंड दैट. So when you buy your resin, there are few instructions on the bottle. Okay, the first instruction says that you have to mix 2 parts of your resin and 1 part of your hardener. जैसे आप इंस्ट्रक्शंस देखोगे तो फर्स्ट पॉइंट रहेगा रेशियो, कि आपको रेजिन और हार्डनर कितना मिक्स करना है. ठीक है, मेरे रेजिन का रेशियो है 2:1. कोई कंपनीज है जिसका रेशियो रहता है 3:1, कोई कंपनी का रहता है 1:1. Okay, there are companies which will have ratio 3:1 and 1:1. Each has its own purpose, which we will be discussing in further session. Okay, right now for today I will be using 2:1. आज के लिए मैं 2:1 रेशियो यूज कर रही हूँ. सेकेंड पॉइंट which is there in the instruction, it says the minutes for which you have to mix. आपको कितनी देर तक रेजिन और हार्डनर को मिक्स करना है. Okay, so my resin says that I need to mix for 3 to 5 minutes. मेरे रेजिन मुझे बोलता है कि मुझे 3 to 5 minutes तक मिक्स करना पड़ेगा तभी मेरा रेजिन रेडी होगा. Okay, because it's a chemical, so you have to mix it. Third point is the pot life, which may or may not be written on your bottle. Okay, now what do you mean by pot life? So what happens once you mix your resin and hardener, for some time it will be in liquid form. After that it starts thickening up and then it becomes hard. So the amount of time for which your resin is in liquid time is called the pot life or the workable time. जैसे ही आप रेजिन और हार्डनर को मिक्स करते हो कुछ समय के लिए वो लिक्विड फॉर्म में होता है, उसके बाद वो हार्ड हो जाता है. तो वो जो लिक्विड फॉर्म में जितनी देर रहता है जिसके साथ आप काम कर सकते हो उसको पॉट लाइफ कहा जाता है. ओके, नाउ देयर इज also one term that is called as curing time. After that curing time you can functionally use your piece. If you have made a tray you can serve water in that. If you have made a clock you can hang it. It will no more be sticky or it will not be that sticky or bendy. एक क्योरिंग टाइम भी एक टर्म है जिसका मीनिंग है कि आपका रेजिन वो क्योरिंग टाइम पास कर देता है तो उसके बाद आप कोई भी चीज आपने जो रेजिन से बनाई है वो आप फंक्शनली यूज कर सकते हो. अगर आपने ट्रे बनाई है तो वो आप फंक्शनली यूज कर सकते हो. अगर क्लॉक बनाई है तो आप उसको हैंग कर सकते हो, वो स्टिकी नहीं रहेगा. सो टू टेल यू अबाउट माय रेजिन, द पॉट लाइफ इज 25 minutes. मतलब once I mix my resin and hardener, I will have 25 minutes to finish up my project. Nagma, I'm just repeating that only. You can just listen. Once एक बार आप रेजिन और हार्डनर को मिक्स करते हो आपके पास सिर्फ 25 मिनट रहेंगे, उसके बाद आपका रेजिन हार्ड होना स्टार्ट हो जाएगा. सो मेरे रेजिन की पॉट लाइफ है 25 minutes and the curing time of my resin is 24 hours. मतलब 24 घंटे के बाद वो completely dry हो जाएगा and I can use it. So after 24 hours it will be completely dry and I can use it functionally. Fine. I hope I'm clear till now. Yes or thumbs up. All right, great. Now we just covered about base and the resin. Third is a blowtorch. Okay, so this is a blowtorch. इसको blowtorch बोलते हैं. When you mix your resin and hardener, there are air bubbles that gets created inside it. Now, if you don't remove your air bubbles, I'll show you what happens. Gifta, you can just listen to the English part because I have participants who don't understand English. Okay, so I'll have to repeat it up. Okay, so मैं अभी आपको दिखा रही हूँ ये पीस जिसमें मैं आपको दिखाऊंगी कि अगर आप बबल्स नहीं निकालते हो तो क्या प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है. So if you see this blue part, water part, it is super glossy. Okay, because I removed the air bubbles. यहाँ पे मैंने air bubbles निकाल दिए थे, इसलिए वो पूरा super smooth और glossy है. अगर आप इधर देखोगे, if you see here, you will see small spots and the uneven surface. Okay, so that is because I didn't remove the air bubbles to show you the difference in one piece. यहाँ पे मैंने एयर बबल्स नहीं निकाले ताकि मैं आपको इसका डिफरेंस दिखा सकूं कि नहीं निकालते हो तो कैसा रहेगा और निकालोगे तो कैसा रहेगा. So that's the reason to have a perfect finished product. It's very important to remove the air bubbles. एक perfect finished product के लिए air bubbles निकालना जरूरी है. So for that purpose we use this blowtorch. So उसी के लिए हम लोग ये blowtorch use करते हैं. If you don't have blowtorch, people are using heat gun, hair dryer as well as isopropyl alcohol spray. अगर आपके पास ये blowtorch नहीं है तो आप हीट गन भी यूज कर सकते हो, हेयर ड्रायर भी यूज कर सकते हो, या फिर आइसोप्रोपाइल अल्कोहल स्प्रे जो आपको मेडिकल शॉप में इजीली मिल जाएगा वो भी आप यूज कर सकते हो. फाइन. Anusha, that's what I am telling, the basic materials you need to start your resin work. Okay, so first was the base, second was the resin and hardener, third was this blowtorch. Now you saw my pieces, they have some or the other color. ठीक है, आपने मेरे pieces देखे, उसमें कुछ ना कुछ कलर है, ब्लू है, अगर इसमें देखो तो पिंक और ऑरेंज है, वो जो दिखाया उसमें ग्रीन है. सो यू नीड टू ऐड समथिंग टू योर रेजिन टू कलर इट. कुछ रेजिन के अंदर ऐसा ऐड करना पड़ेगा जिससे हमारा रेजिन कलर होता है. सो दैट इज नोन एज द pigment. Okay, that is known as pigment, and it's same like the way we get different shades in acrylic colors, we get different shades in pigments. Same जैसे acrylic में अलग अलग shades मिलते हैं, उसी तरह हमें pigments में भी अलग अलग shade मिलते हैं जो हम resin और hardener में mix करेंगे जिससे हमारा resin hardener color हो जाता है. But you cannot add acrylic color to your resin. Okay, so I every time I suggest my participants not to invest in all the shades of pigments available in the market. Uma Devi, I'll just come to that question. Don't worry, I know you will be having that doubt. So I suggest all my beginner participants not to invest in all the shades of pigments. But what you can do is, if you want to learn beach theme, just invest in one pigment, that is white pigment. And if you want to start with the geode art, you can invest in 2 to 3 shades only. Why? Because pigments are quite expensive. And till you are learning to handle resin and hardener, not to invest in everything. मैं मेरे बिगिनर पार्टिसिपेंट्स को यही सजेस्ट करती हूँ, आप 1 या 2 शेड्स में ही इन्वेस्ट करो स्टार्टिंग में, जब तक आप रेजिन को हैंडल करना नहीं सीख जाते. ठीक है, तो अगर आपको बीच थीम करना है तो आप सिर्फ व्हाइट पिगमेंट में इन्वेस्ट कीजिए. अगर आपको जियोड ऐड करना है तो 1 या 2 पिगमेंट में लीजिए जिसके अंदर आप व्हाइट ऐड करके दूसरे शेड्स बना सकते हो. ऑलराइट, तो फिर ऑप्शन क्या रहेगा, हम लोग यूज करेंगे एक्रेलिक शेड्स. जो फेविक्रिल के एक्रेलिक पेंट्स आते हैं, दे आर क्वाइट इजीली अवेलेबल, बट वी विल नॉट बी मिक्सिंग दिस एक्रेलिक पेंट्स इन रेजिन एंड हार्डनर. तो फिर अगर पिगमेंट्स नहीं लेने हैं तो हमारा दूसरा ऑप्शन क्या रहेगा, एक्रेलिक पेंट्स जो हमें 20 रुपीज या 25 रुपीज की बॉटल्स में मिलते हैं वो हम यूज कर सकते हैं, पर हम उसको रेजिन में नहीं मिक्स करेंगे. सो आपका डाउट होगा कि हम क्यों नहीं कर सकते. So the answer is the Indian brand of resin, Indian brand of acrylic colors, they are very liquidy and they have lot of water content. So when you mix it with resin, your resin will form lumps. हम लोग एक्रेलिक पेंट्स रेजिन में इसलिए नहीं यूज करते क्योंकि जो फेविक्रिल, कैमलिन, वो सब जो ब्रांड्स है उसके एक्रेलिक कलर्स बहुत ही लिक्विडी और पानी का कंटेंट बहुत ज्यादा रहता है. सो आप जैसे ही उसको ऐड करोगे आपका जो रेजिन है ना वो गटे बना लेगा एंड इट विल गेट स्पॉइल्ड आउट. So that's the reason we will be using our acrylic paint to paint our base, then pour clear resin and hardener, and then use only one pigment white to create the waves. I'll be doing practically, but I'm just explaining you the theory part. Okay, so हम क्या करेंगे, हम लोग जो acrylic colors है उससे हमारा base को है उसको paint कर देंगे, फिर clear resin और hardener डालेंगे और सिर्फ एक पिगमेंट व्हाइट पिगमेंट यूज करेंगे waves create करने. All right, so I hope I'm clear till now. All right, great. So this pigments they come in paste form. Okay, you get it in paste form, you get it in powder form, as well as you get it in alcohol ink form. So there are different pigments available depending on your requirement. You can just select, but I suggest first understand how to handle resin and then invest. Then we need small things like an cup and ice cream stick to mix our resin and hardener. And then this resin is a chemical, so we will be wearing the gloves as well as the mask. ये पिगमेंट्स और वो सब हो गया जो मेन चीजें थी. उसके बाद हमें छोटी छोटी चीजें चाहिए, जैसे एक ग्लास है, आइसक्रीम स्टिक है मिक्स करने के लिए, और रेजिन एक केमिकल है. सो हमें ग्लव्स पहनना जरूरी है क्योंकि हमारी स्किन के कांटेक्ट में नहीं आना चाहिए. हमें हमारी स्किन टाइप नहीं पता है, अगर कुछ रिएक्शन हो गया तो. सो बेटर टू बी ऑन सेफर साइड. और मास्क पहनना जरूरी है क्योंकि कभी कभी हम हीट करते हैं. Sometimes we heat and there can be fumes coming out which we don't want to inhale. ठीक है, हमें वो fumes inhale नहीं करने, इसलिए हम मास्क पहनेंगे. Recording of this pre-demo session will not be available, but still you can just check when you go to my recordings. All right, so I hope I'm clear till now, and I will quickly move towards the practical part now. So for today, I will be taking so for today, yes, you can try with the tube acrylic colors because they are more pigmented. You can try, but what happens, with that acrylic colors, either the acrylic color will form small droplets and it will not color up your resin, or your resin will have the lumps. But you can just try it out with the tube acrylic colors, definitely. Yes, Sanvi, you can make comb with resin. You get the mold also. All right. So for today, for the water part, I'm taking the shade of blue and pink. Okay, let's take a different shade rather than a usual blue. I'll show you that also. So this is a blue shade. This is a sunset theme. Again, this was like my participants, they asked me to merge blue, pink and yellow. Okay, so there was a different shade that came up. We will be taking blue and pink. Yes, Neha, you can do that. You can make poster with just flowers like I have done. Okay, you can even use only flowers. That also can be done. Even geode can be created in the coaster. So there are so many possibilities. Okay, so these are the normal Fevicryl acrylic colors. Now I'll turn my camera. Guys, I'll not be able to see the screen. So just bear with me till I turn my camera again. All right. Thank you, Krutika. All right, so I've just placed my coaster here, and for the sand part, I'm taking black color. Okay, so I'll just make my sand in the tone of black. like this, I just paint my sand part black. So first you need to start with your sand part. And you have to decide how much of your coaster you want as the sand. So I'm taking MDF board, okay, and on that I'm just painting using the normal Fevicryl acrylic colors. I have not added any water, okay, it's purely acrylic paint. And whenever you paint, just see that you go from left to right or right to left so that you get beautiful strokes. I just want my sand part to be till here. Okay, wash your brush. Now we all know that as the water gets deeper, it gets darker. So I'll be starting with my blue shade and then I'll start adding my pink shade because it will become dark purple. Okay, so let me just wash the brush and I'll start with the blue part. And as again I said before, just go from left to right. Just see that each and every edge corner is nicely colored. Now move further and paint till you want your coaster to have the blue shade. So what I'll do is I'll just paint my coaster blue till here. Now without washing your brush, you need to take your second shade, that is pink. Do not wash, okay? Do not wash. Then only you'll get a good blending. Now just blend your shades, blue and pink, and slowly just move further. Move up. Now just take some more pink and keep on merging till you reach the top of your coaster part. Sorry, I just spilled my color. Okay, now once you have covered up the coaster completely with the color, start from the top till the end of your water part. But just go from left to right, so that the blending happens nicely. If you want more of blue, then go from bottom to top. And if you want more of pink, then go from top to bottom. So just do it for 2 to 3 times, just left to right, till you get a very good blended shade. Okay, so I'll just turn my camera and just show you how nice from blue to pink purple it is painted. All right, I'll just wipe out the excess paint from the sides so that it dries out nicely. Okay, here it is there. I just wipe this extra paint from here. All right. Yes, these are all Fevicryl acrylic colors. This was the small bottle and this was the big one. So I used cerulean blue and this is pink 18. Fine. So now we will leave this to dry. We will leave it on side to dry. I'm using a MDF base. Okay, this is an MDF board. It's 4 by 4 inch in size. Now till this piece dries, it will take around 4 to 5 minutes to dry. So by the time this piece dries, I'll wear my gloves and the mask and quickly measure up the resin. But before that, I like to show you, like if you see the back side, if you see the back of my pieces, they are very nicely colored, like, clear. There are no resin drops or anything. So I tell all of my participants that it's not only the front, it's also the back side of your piece that matters, that gives a professional look to your piece. Okay. So you don't have the spillage of resin. कहीं पे भी resin गिरा हुआ नहीं है, पीछे चिपका हुआ नहीं है. So वो सब चीजें कैसे achieve कर सकते हो? That can be achieved when you calculate your resin in perfect required quantity. आपको रेजिन कितना चाहिए वो आपको बेस के हिसाब से कैलकुलेट करना पड़ेगा, तभी आपको एग्जैक्ट क्वांटिटी मिलेगी, आपका वेस्टेज नहीं होगा और आपका बाद का जो काम होता है ना क्लीनिंग का, वो सब नहीं बढ़ेगा. फाइन. दैट कैलकुलेशन पार्ट इज अ बिट lengthy, which we will again take in the next session. I won't be able to take it because in 1 hour I have to finish up so many things, but I'll just tell you that for this 4-inch piece, ये 4-inch piece के लिए मुझे 10 grams resin और hardener mixture चाहिए. Okay, for this 4-inch piece, we need 10 grams of resin and hardener mixture. So now comes the theory part. I told my resin ratio is 2:1. Now I am telling you I need 10 grams. So the calculation will be 7 grams of my resin and half of it, that is 3.5 grams as my hardener. Okay, so 7.5 is double of 3, so 2:1 ratio is maintained and required quantity of 10 gram is also sufficed. It will be 10.5, but I need 10, so 0.5 gram will be more. Okay, so that is how you can just calculate, and calculation part I'll just explain you later on. Right now I'll just quickly wear my mask and the gloves and we'll start measuring the resin and hardener. Also, yes, Riddhi, backside also you need to paint, because if you gift it to someone, no one will like looking at the wooden, surface. So if you paint it, you see how nice it looks. It looks a professional piece that, it has a super finished look. So that's the reason you paint backside also. I also forgot to mention, like I told about the pot life and the curing time. Now, when you work with bigger projects, okay, when you work with 4 feet, 5 feet project, then you need to check that the pot life of your resin is not 25 minutes, but it is 45 to 60 minutes, so that you have enough time to work with your resin. Okay. Okay, now I'll turn my camera towards the table again and I'll show you the wing scale and how to measure. Nithya will come to that thing, don't worry. Okay, so here is my wing scale. So I'll be taking first my part A, that is resin. And as I said, that I'll be measuring 7.5, 7. If in case of 7, it gets 8, make sure to add half of it as the hardener. Okay, don't stick to 3.5 then. Okay, now I'll just take my part B. So now this is my part B, that is hardener. See guys, if the ratio goes wrong, I'll tell you what happens. I'll even show you, the pieces, what happens. In one of the piece, I purposefully didn't add the required quantity of hardener, and it always becomes very bendy or sticky, and it will never dry out. So see, this is a piece. This was made almost 1 month back, just to show the participants. So it is still bendy even after 1 month. You can just, it's rubbery. No, you don't have to measure it in different cups. Okay, you don't have to measure it up in different cups. You just have to mix it in the same one. Now, sorry, I don't have a plastic cup that is transparent that I can show you today. Otherwise, I try to use a transparent cup, but today I don't have it. Now, when you take this, okay, the liquid is very clear like water. Okay, it's very clear like water. But as soon as you start mixing, okay, as soon as you start mixing, first thing you have to mix it very slowly and scrap the sides of your cup as well as the base. Okay, you need to scrap the sides as well as the base of your cup so that you get very homogeneous mixture, and mix it slowly. If you mix vigorously, there will be so many air bubbles that you will not understand whether now you need to stop mixing or you still have to mix. So that's the reason, keep on mixing very slowly and scrap the sides as well as the base. Now comes theory part again. You have to mix it for 3 to 5 minutes till your mixture turns clear again. So what happens basically when you take your liquid, आप जैसे ही आपका liquid लेते हो, it will be clear like water. And once you start mixing, as the chemical reaction starts, it turns turbid white like lemon juice. अब जैसे ही उसको mixing start करोगे ना, वो lemon juice के जैसे turbid हो जाएगा, clear नहीं रहेगा. So then you have to mix for 3 to 5 minutes till it turns clear again. फिर आपको उसको mix करते रहना है 3 से 5 मिनट तक, जब तक वो वापस clear नहीं हो जाता. So this is one of the most important trick that can help you to get a perfect finished product. So mix it slowly or scrap करते रहना है, scrap the sides as well as the base to have perfect liquid mixture. Now, at the end of 3 to 5 minutes, there has to be some indication that you need to stop mixing. So how will you understand that? Again, that is like, let me explain. So you need to observe from the top. Okay, you need to observe from the top and move your ice cream stick. When you move your ice cream stick, if you don't find any kind of lines forming, that means your mixture is ready to pour. So what I mean by that, when you add a drop of oil to your water and move your ice cream stick, you will find swirls. आप जब भी तेल का एक ड्रॉप पानी में डालोगे और उसको मिक्स करोगे तो आपको लाइंस लाइंस दिखेगी. ठीक है, अगर ऐसी लाइंस आपको इसमें दिख रही है, उसका मतलब आपका मिक्सचर अभी भी मिक्स नहीं हुआ है. If you find such lines in your resin and hardener here, that means the mixture is still not ready. और अगर ऐसी लाइंस नहीं फॉर्म होती है, उसका मतलब है कि आपका रेजिन अच्छे से मिक्स हो गया है and you can pour. Okay, so this is an indication that you can use when you are mixing your resin and hardener. Now my resin is again clear like water and it has very few air bubbles. मेरा resin है वो एकदम clear वापस हो चुका है और उसके अंदर थोड़े air bubbles है जो normal है. आयुषी, that's the reason, like थोड़े air bubbles तो आएंगे ही क्योंकि हम mix करते हैं, and for that purpose we have this blowtorch. Okay, so now I'll just keep it on side and check whether this piece has dried. All right, my acrylic paint has dried out nicely. Okay, so it's dry. Now whenever you place this, do not place it directly on the table. इसको डायरेक्टली टेबल पे नहीं रखना है, वरना रेजिन है अगर बाय केस गिर गया तो ये पूरा पीस है वो आपका चिपक जाएगा. If you place it directly on the table, if resin drips, this piece will get stuck to the table. So again, my paint bottles come to my rescue. मैं यही पेंट बॉटल्स है क्योंकि वो हाइट अच्छी है इसकी, सो मैं वही यूज करती हूँ. वो रख के उसके ऊपर मैं कोस्टर रख देती हूँ. So in case my resin falls, I'll only have the droplets. My piece is completely secure. Fine. Spray is isopropyl alcohol spray, also known as rubbing alcohol, also known as spirit, and you get it in medical shops. MDF board can be easily, you can get it from any of the carpenter shop. Yeah, framing shop, carpenter shop, anything. Okay, so like before I start, I'll just show you this piece as well as few pieces. All of my piece, what I like is to add resin only to the water part. I don't like adding resin to this sand part so that I get a bit of embossed look. It's completely your choice. आप उसको पूरा completely भी cover कर सकते हो और फिर waves बना सकते हो. But मुझे ये थोड़ा embossed look पसंद है, तो same thing I'll be doing here also. Okay, heat gun instead of heat gun, yes, definitely you can go ahead with hair dryer or blowtorch or isopropyl alcohol spray. So now I'm just gonna pour my resin and hardener mixture over the water part. Now when you pour, make sure that you do not pour completely. आपको पूरा नहीं, आपका जो भी है वो पूरा नहीं डाल देना है. जितना required है उतना ही आपको pour करना है. Okay. Now spread your resin and hardener mixture to each and every edge as well as corner. Coat nicely, cover it up. And then take as and when required. Now what I do is I just cover up the water part completely. मैं ऐसे water part मेरा जो भी है वो मैं अच्छे से cover कर लेती हूँ. And then I like to get my resin a bit over the sand part. जो sand part है उसके ऊपर थोड़ा मैं खींचती हूँ ताकि वो एक natural look लगे उसका. So here also I'll do the same, and I'm just okay. Now my complete surface is coated, and just check कि कोई भी एज या कॉर्नर छूट नहीं गया है. आपको ध्यान रखना है कि कोई भी एज या कॉर्नर छूटा नहीं है, वरना आप ये सूखने के बाद वापस वहां पे सिर्फ ऐड नहीं कर पाओगे, वो आपको पूरा पीस पे वापस कवर करना पड़ेगा. So now if you have blowtorch, you use blowtorch. If you have alcohol spray, you use alcohol spray right now. So I'm having this blowtorch. Keep 2 finger distance and then quickly move it. Okay, so my air bubbles have gone. Now I'll just show you. One minute. Yeah. So now I have my leftover resin and hardener mixture, okay, in which I'll be adding my white pigment. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking this empty, this is an empty cap of the resin and hardener that I have. Okay, in that I'll just take some, this is just an empty, and I'll take my some resin and hardener mixture here in this. I'm having a bit extra, so I don't want to mix completely. So I'm taking very little quantity here in this cup. And then to that, I'll be adding my white pigment. So this is my white pigment. It's in paste form. Okay. I'll not be able to share the details completely right now. Just wait for the session, okay, to further go ahead. So before I add my ice cream stick to the pigment, मैं मेरे pigment के अंदर ये ice cream stick डालूं, उससे पहले बहुत important है कि आप आपका ice cream stick है उसको clean कर दो. You need to clean it up, otherwise your pigment will also dry as the resin and hardener on your ice cream stick dries. Okay, so I've just cleaned it up. And I'm just taking a very little scoop, just a small droplet, like a pea drop, you can say, and then just mix it up in your resin and hardener mixture. This was clear resin and hardener mixture. In that, you need to mix your white pigment. So you get a white pigmented resin. Fine. Mix it nicely and have a super mixed pigmented resin. Now you can mix, now you can just mix, very quickly, because you don't have to wait for the end point. आपका resin और hardener तो वैसे भी mix हो चुका है, हमें सिर्फ pigment ही mix करना है, तो हम quickly कर सकते हैं. I don't have hair dryer right now, and as this in this class, I have many of the beginners and many may not have hair dryer or the heat gun. So I'll be showing with the minimum, that is the ice cream stick itself. Okay. So with the different tools, I'll be teaching in the main course that Manda will be telling you about in the further course. Don't worry for that. Riti, I have just taken a small ball size, almost not even 1 gram. It's almost half gram I have taken. So here you see the resin and hardener. It is very liquidy like water. I will have to wait for this till it creates a string consistency like sugar syrup. Okay, it has to create complete string like we get in sugar syrup. It should not break and it should create string. Why? If I do not leave it to thicken up, I will get only, a cloudy effect like this. But I want a cell effect like this. Okay. So that's for that reason, I will be waiting for 5 minutes. And till that, you can just ask all your questions and Manda will even tell you about the surprise. Surbi, coffee table depends on the size of your coffee table, what you are using. Even same goes for the basil that you need to calculate. Lindsay, I think my voice is clear.
Yeah, it's perfect, ma'am. It's perfect.
No, we have to wear mask, from mixing till the work is done. I'm not wearing because otherwise you will not be able to hear me. That's the reason I'm not wearing. How do we, sorry, I just missed the question. How do you know how much quantity? Yeah, that's what. How do I know how much quantity is needed? There's a complete calculation process, which I told that I'll be able to cover up in the further session. Won't be able to complete it up in this, small session. We are not yet done with the session, okay? We still have to create the wave pattern. So yes.
So I believe, yes.
Just one second.
Hanji ma'am, okay.
So this is the cloud effect and this is the foamy cell effect. I don't want this. I want a very good cells to be formed. So that's the reason I'll be waiting for 5 minutes.